Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Monthly Comic Roundup. Let me just stealthily remove my keyboard. I am Super Tuch. Today is the Vacuuminator.
Ranger T is a weak, punk-ass bitch motherfucker, and I don't respect him.
Okay, then. That's a perfectly normal and not insane way to start a live show.
Watch my latest video to find out what that's about. I had to fucking sign up for ADT because of that guy. I can't even pronounce it right now. I had to sign up for it. I'm paying like $50 a month to keep him out of my house.
Wow, that's okay. Sure. Yeah. Everyone, I apologize if you see me like looking down at my phone, but due to the way we're doing stuff, I want to be able to monitor chat, and the only way I can do that is my phone. So anyway, this is a shit show of a beginning to the monthly comic roundup, but it's what we're doing. Anyway, I had an issue with a live Google Hangout last week, and the full stream didn't save for whatever reason, so I'm just being a little cautious. So if this looks really weird and you can see like the little live icon right there, or maybe it'll end up over here or something, I'm sorry, it's the best I can do. Anyway, so we're here to do the best, worst, and best cover books of July 2018. Little further behind than we like to be, but hey, we made it happen.
Yeah.
We're cool.
Yeah.
Vac, do you remember who went first last time?
I actually checked to see this time, and you went first last week.
Okay, well, let's continue that awesome tradition. No, I'm kidding. Why don't you start us off this month?
Okay, so my pick for the first week of July is Go-Go Power Rangers number 11. This was an incredibly eye-opening issue for me because I've been kind of iffy on this whole Shattered Grid tie-in the book has been doing, where it's the Rangers in the past dealing with the Ranger Slayer, who is the Drakenverse version of Kimberly. And we don't really, until this issue, we didn't really know what exactly was going on with this character, if they were like actually working for Draken, or they were a double agent, or some kind of crazy thing like that. And finally, we find out it was Kimberly under Draken's sort of mind control spell, like Rita did to Tommy way back in Green with Evil. And we actually get to spend some time with this character when she's not being evil in this issue. And I think I'm super hyped for Margaret Bennett on Mighty Morphin now, just because of this character. Like, there's this moment, or rather this scene, where they're all just kind of taking a breather, figuring out what to do after everything that's happened in the last couple issues. And our version of Kimberly and this alternate version of Kimberly decide to go to the Juice Bar, which is the hangout from Power Rangers. It's where most of them spend their time when they're not at school. And it's just this really fun scene that's also really kind of getting at the core of what these books themselves are about, is getting to go back and relive a part of your childhood and see what it's like from an adult's perspective, is kind of what Drakenverse Kimberly gets to do here. And it's really touching and really neat. And hey, Ian, anybody who's going to read Margaret Bennett on Go-Go, I would highly recommend this issue too, just to prime you on this character who's going to be leading the team she has set up for that book.
Okay, that sounds really interesting. I might have to pick that up. If I have a light week this coming week, I might see if that's still on the stands. I'm sorry, you just kind of distracted me because you said like the Power Rangers spend their time at the Juice Bar, and that made me think of Clockwork Orange and the Milk Bar. And now I really want the Clockwork Orange versus Power Rangers story.
Yes.
Oh, man.
That would be the most insane crossover ever, but I'm ready for it.
Alex could take the Green Ranger. Bet. Oh, man. No, that does sound really interesting, and I'm excited because I don't know anything about the universe, and I think Margaret Bennett is such a a talky writer. She loves writing dialogue, like really long stretches of dialogue, that it'll be interesting to see how she tries to get people, the quote unquote new reader, which will be me, into the book. And so I'm like kind of curious to see what setup there will be, and I'm kind of curious to see just how much how much legwork she's gonna have to do just to get me to care. Um, all right. Well, I'll go ahead and take over, and I'll talk about my book for the first week of July, which was, of course, July the 4th, and that will be Captain America #1. We had a Captain America issue come out on July the 4th. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Part of me is picking this just because of the Alex Ross cover, because Alex Ross doing a wraparound cover is gorgeous.
Oh, so I want that poster.
Right? Like every issue of this run is going to be a poster as long as Ross is doing the covers.
Yeah.
But also, this is the beginning of Coates' run, and even though issue 2 I had some problems with, I do really like some of the direction that Coates is going with. I was not a fan of what Coates was doing with his Black Panther run. I read the first couple issues of that, and just it really didn't work for me because I didn't like his voice for the character. But having an ultra critical look at a society using Captain America seems very appropriate. This is, of course, like interestingly going right off of the Spencer run, the whole Secret Empire and all that. I guess we're just pretending that Wade's run didn't happen, which would seem a little ass backwards to me.
That, or it's going to be like Iron Man after Civil War, and for the next few years, we're just stuck in, Captain America did a bad thing, and people don't trust him now.
Yeah, and so Coates is definitely dealing with a lot of that. A lot of the, too much trust was put on me and yada yada. So this one, it's going into a lot of the same stuff as you would expect, but I don't know, it's doing it in an interesting way that's kind of deconstructing and dealing with patriotism in a divided country. And I think that's not necessarily a story that I need to read, but it's a story that I feel some people need to read, and it has some interesting ideas for people to play with there. It's one of those situations where I think the person that it's written for is definitely not going to read it. But hey, who knows? Maybe they'll see the Alex Ross cover and just happen to get a little bit of wokeness in them.
Yeah, I read that. I thought it was pretty interesting and like doing all the stuff a Cap book should be doing right now. But like my kind of Captain America is more the kind of Captain America that was going on in the earlier part of Wade's run. So I'm not super interested in reading any more of that, at least until it's in trade.
That's fair. I think that's totally fair. It was just an interesting run, new #1. I don't know if I've talked about this on this show, but I really like what Marvel's doing with the new legacy numbering.
Oh yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, as opposed to renumbering every week. So it's #1, but it's really number 705. Stuff like that's really cool. I like that little touch.
It's a nice way to have your cake and eat it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Well, why don't we go ahead and go on to your next book, sir?
Okay, so my pick for week 2 is a indie book called She Could Fly. This is the first issue. Have you heard anything about this book, Ian?
Not a word.
Okay, well, this is by Christopher Cantwell, who Roger Books. Their logo looks almost exactly like the Dark Horse logo, so I keep wanting to say it's a Dark Horse book.
That's a little much, guys.
Yeah. But he's apparently a co-creator of AMC's acclaimed *Halt and Catch Fire*. Never heard of that show, but this was utterly fantastic. I think everyone has that book that they read in their life that they're like, this is literally just about stuff I think about but don't ever want to talk about. This is that book for me. It's about a character who is clearly suffering from all kinds of anxiety and depression and potential anger management issues. She's seeing her school counselor every day and not even really talking to anyone at school. She's just kind of walking down the hall repeating this, I forget what the actual term is, but like a safe word you have if you're a mentally ill person that kind of keeps you comfortable. She keeps just going rubber ball, rubber ball, rubber ball as she's walking down the hall, just looking at the floor. And whenever somebody does something nice for her, she has like these sort of, I don't want to call them like visions or fantasies, but she has these like moments where she thinks through, what if I just became extremely violent right now? What if I just kicked the crap out of this person because I'm a bad person and I would do this? No, I'm not a bad person. I can't do that. And the only thing that's keeping her from actually snapping is there's a person who's been appearing in the sky lately, seemingly flying of their own accord. This is a universe without superheroes, but there's just somebody who's able to fly around, and nobody knows who it is, if it's a government thing, what's going on. All there's just like amateur phone footage of this person that's been shown on the news. And the impetus for the story is towards the end of this issue, that person explodes in midair, like violently and gorily dies while flying. And our main character sees it on the news, and it just breaks her. She's like, I've got to leave, or I'm gonna flip out on somebody, and I'm gonna finally do the stuff I've been afraid of doing all my life. So she leaves a note for her family and runs away. And in the last couple pages is seemingly about to jump off a bridge and kill herself because she's worried she can't control herself anymore. And then she finds, because she's in the same city the person was flying over when they exploded, she finds the person's locket. And there's like a picture of two kids in there, and it says, "Love them, protect them." And she decides not to kill herself. And apparently the story is going to be about her trying to find the flying woman's kids and save them from whatever's threatening them. It's a really interesting and really vague book. I would almost call this Tom King-esque for how it deals with mental illness. Yeah, just really hit me in a place I wasn't ever expecting to come from in a comic.
That's really cool. Sounds like a really interesting kind of indie book. I don't think you can get away with that in a Kate book, you know?
Yeah. It's a 4-issue mini, so I'm definitely going to keep up with it.
It sounds great. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go on to my pick for the second week, and also an indie book. This is Stealth from Short Fuse Media. This is something Mano sent to me, and so I am cheating a bit because I don't think it necessarily came out that week, but this was the week in which I could review it, so I'm counting it.
Fair enough.
So yeah, this is a really interesting book. I'll say right off the bat that the end dedicates it to Stefan Clark, Philando Castile, Alton Sterling, Tamir Rice, Michael Brown, and Ayanna Jones. So all victims of police brutality and part of what's like sparked the Black Lives Matter movement. And it is very much about that. It is about a superhero with super speed and strength who's living in a city and like doing the typical superhero stop criminals thing, but then actively starts to fight against police corruption. And that starts to cause a bunch of problems for him and causes the government to kind of turn on him and treat him as an enemy. And so there's a really interesting scene where, you know, he goes to kind of defend his name against a bunch of armed police officers during a protest and stuff, and he has to take on a SWAT team. And that just kind of like, he's kind of makes him public enemy number one, but it doesn't matter to him because he wants to actually fight for what's right. And, you know, it's pretty crazy, some of the stuff that you see him do. There's this moment where a cop is about to shoot a guy who's got his hands up, and Stealth comes in and stops the bullet and says, "That would have been murder." So it's like, it's a really politically charged book, really interesting, great art, great concept. I love the fact that Stealth's secret identity, I forget the name of the secret identity character, but he's a teacher and he's trying to talk with his class about all these current events and stuff. So a lot of interesting stuff in this book. the way Short Fuse works is they do Kickstarters for, I believe, each issue and for trades and stuff to get them printed. So I highly recommend picking up the book itself. And then if you like it, I'm planning to keep an eye on the project so I can back the next Kickstarter and get issue number 2 whenever that happens.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, really, really good book, though. Really blew me away because I didn't know what to expect. Manos didn't tell me anything about it when he sent it to me, and I was very, very pleased. All right, what you got for us for week 3?
Okay, so for week 3, kind of an obvious pick for me, but hey, I picked the last issue of Infidel. This was a really good summation of just everything this series has been about. Really strong horror moments, really interesting, just like showing the way we talk now and how that about issues and how that's kind of fucked up. There's some really sweet character moments, like this discussion between the main character and her best friend about the fact that she claims to really hate religion and faith, but she completely surrounds herself with people who are extremely religious because there's a part of her mind that still associates that with love from her childhood. There's, of course, as has been happening in this series constantly, there's a huge misunderstanding where someone is seen with a couple dead bodies and it's assumed, oh, you killed them. I'm gonna beat you up now. And the whole issue is just that person running from another person, essentially, with various flashbacks and flash forwards to things. The final scene of the series, where we're flashing forward to, I'm trying to find it, to the main character finally back in her own book, like a year or two later, having recovered from her injuries and won custody of her husband's child. She's kind of discussing with an imaginary friend version of her best friend who died earlier in the issue, like why she's currently doing what she's doing, why she's staying with her mother and constantly going over the case, because her mother is a very controlling, very religious person, and she doesn't essentially like living there, and she doesn't think it's a good environment for this child, but she can't afford to win custody for this child if she isn't getting the financial benefits she gets from living with her mother. And the whole discussion of that type of situation is really interesting. And it's just, I really like this book because it brings up and discusses a lot of concepts and ideas and issues like that we have in our current society, but it doesn't ever say, okay, this is definitively the way things should be, this is definitively the way they shouldn't be. It just says, this is where we are right now. It's kind of fucked up. Maybe we should try and fix it a little. Mm-hmm. And I really like that. That's exactly how I think a political commentary book should be.
Man, we're all kind of SJWs this week, aren't we?
We are.
Like yours is the only one that's like, or you've got the only pick that's like not really out there, but even then it's still kind of like all commentary-y and stuff, man. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, on that train, let's go ahead and talk about Batman number 51. This is the continuation of Tom King's run. So Batman 50 was very closely tied with Captain America. I was just really happy with the first issue of Captain America, but Batman 50 like left an emotional scar on my heart. And so to go on to 51 and choose Freeze as the villain, I think was a really, really smart choice, as like, you know, the Freeze is this character who's very cold emotionally, but he's obsessed with someone that he loves and that he couldn't have anymore, and like all this stuff. So I feel like that's a really cool dynamic to put up against Batman. But then also to have this arc be about like the trust Batman puts into the criminal justice system in this country, and how a lot of that trust is probably misfounded, because I've heard stories of what serving on a jury is like, and it does not give me a ton of confidence. And so to have Bruce Wayne serve on the jury of a Batman-related trial, of Mr. Freeze is really, really interesting. And then I just
Is
love
it just me, or does this arc feel like King trying to do a smaller, more intimate discussion of the themes that White Knight was going on about?
I think so. I think that's a lot. I definitely think that's present. And I just love the cliffhanger ending here where the jury sat through the trial in like a couple pages. And then we get to the end here where they all deliberate and say, okay, just real quick, let's see where we're all at. And everyone thinks guilty except for Bruce Wayne. And I'm like, whoa.
I think that's like the most in character thing I've ever seen for Batman, though.
Mm-hmm. It really would be. Batman's highly self-critical a lot of the time, and so to see all these people just blindly trust him like that, I can totally see Batman, even removing the wedding thing, I can see Batman like going through this and being like, this too much trust to put in me. I really like that about it. So yeah, just a really interesting, neat story. I think it's going to be a 3-issue story arc, maybe 4. And it's really solid. Plus, Lee Weeks is back on the art here. Lee Weeks, of course, did the Batman Elmer Fudd issue with Tom King.
Such good art. Oh my god.
I really like all the angles that he picks because this is just a really interesting kind of angle to show of the jury deliberation room. There's a lot of stuff like that. Also,
he's probably tied with Clayman for my favorite artist on King's run so far.
They work really well together. Also, I was very excited that we got the Dick Knight returns.
Okay, so I like that in concept, but that page really ticked me off because it has 2 major things that in superhero things always are like pet peeves for me. Can I go on them real quick?
Go for it.
First, why is Dick saying his name when he's in costume fighting a villain? Isn't he supposed to have a secret identity? Second, why is he talking on the phone while fighting a like 300-pound crocodile man with teeth that could bite one of his limbs clean off? If it's dangerous enough to talk on the phone while you're driving a car, I don't think you should be talking on the phone while fighting a supervillain like that.
I mean, I talk on the phone when I wrestle alligators. You trying to say that I'm like not, taking my safety
into consideration? All I'm saying is safety first, dude.
No, you're right. Those are certainly pet peeve things. I don't know. It kind of goes with the whole casual superhero life kind of thing to a certain degree. Like, oh, hey, Dick, I can't be Batman this week because I'm on jury duty. Can you like take over for me? Oh yeah, sure, man. I'll cover your shift. It's fine.
I do love Gordon's reaction to him, though.
Yeah, it's like you're not him.
You're that utter him.
Yep. I like that. That was pretty good. I like seeing Gordon on the stand. King loves his 9-panel grids, so that was really cool too. Just I don't know, a lot of cool stuff in here. This page was really great.
Oh yeah, that is my favorite thing in the whole issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like that was just like, Bruce, I feel for you, buddy.
Yeah, lots of interesting, good stuff going on in here.
Because I've been there when you're in a group of stupid people and you're having a hard time in other parts of your life, and you just have to walk out of the room and scream for a minute.
Mm-hmm. Yep, pretty much. So lots of good in here. Really, really solid issue. How about you, sir?
All right, so my pick for the final week of this month was kind of a surprise for me because I wasn't even really expecting to pick this up, but I kind of flipped through it at the comic shop and was like, you know what, why not? So I pick Mr. and Mrs. X #1. This is the new Rogue and Gambit ongoing now that they're a married couple, and the first half of this book is just showing their wedding and them getting ready for it, and it's really interesting and really cute. And for the first time in comics for me, I really felt like, oh, this is the X-Men as a family. Because people always say that, oh, the X-Men are like a family. They're this big group of people that come around from all these different backgrounds, and they really get along and love each other because of this one thing they have in common. I've never really gotten that from an X-Men comic till now. And it's just really cute seeing everybody trying to get all the little things you need for a wedding together, and having banter with each other. Like there's this one great page where Iceman and Nightcrawler are going like, just so we're clear, I'm not on the girls' team because I'm gay. It's because I don't want to be on Team Gambit. But why are you on this team? I'm her brother, and also I don't want to be on Team Gambit. And there's a really sweet moment here that's also kind of like poking fun at the nature of X-Men comics and comic book weddings, where Mystique shows up because she wants to be present for her daughter's wedding, and Rogue kind of pulls her aside and is like, so just so we're clear, you're not going to like kidnap me or knock me out and turn into me and sleep with Remy to teach me a lesson or something. And she's like, no, I think I'm gonna be good today. And a really neat kind of continuity pull is Rogue wears a power dampening collar for the whole wedding because she wants to be actually able to kiss her husband on her wedding day and, of course, sleep with him on the honeymoon. And there's a lot of discussion about the technology behind that and like how it gives you a headache and it's really bulky and like odd to wear. And Rogue even has this exchange with Beast where it's like, why isn't this available in like the size of a tennis bracelet? Or can they at least figure out a way to make the pain go away? And Beast is like, I wonder why we haven't done that yet. I wonder why we haven't improved the technology that literally makes mutants not mutants anymore. So yeah, the beginning of this book is just really cute and fun and like getting to know this couple if you're not familiar with them. And then a crazy space fight happens, as you do in X-Men comics. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep up with this. I'm going to at least read the next issue, but this was really cute and fun. I liked it a lot.
That sounds good. I like the idea of a more chilled and laid back X-Men kind of thing, because I swear, man, I could go for the X-Men television series where Magneto never shows up, no one's ever like seriously hurt, or there's a really big fight. It's just, high school drama kind of thing.
Yes.
I could go for that series.
CW, get on that.
Yeah, CW. Don't make it crap though.
Well then, Disney Channel, get on. No, early 2000s Disney Channel, get on that.
Exactly. Yeah, I could see it. All right, so I'm going to go on to my last pick for July, and that is Wonder Woman number 51. Oh, definitely. Steve Orlando took over Wonder Woman after issue 50.
This is Orlando now.
Yeah. Robinson left at issue 50, and so just on the fact that there's a new writer who actually seems to give a damn, that's good. Also, this issue is a fantastic Wonder Woman one and done story.
Cool.
This could easily fit into like the greatest Wonder Woman stories ever told kind of thing. Just because it has little to no dependence on anything else. Like right at the beginning, they say, oh, this happened all the way back in Wonder Woman, like number 21. It doesn't matter. It could be any generic Wonder Woman villain Wonder Woman has to fight that starts off the story. It's such a good like look at just the lengths to which Diana goes for a person. Any person, even someone who shot her, like, think about like the act of shooting Wonder Woman. That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
So this woman shot Diana, and yet Diana's willing to go through all of this for her. And there's just this absolutely stunning moment that gets me where, they seem to be developing more of a camaraderie, a friendship kind of thing. But then Wonder Woman says a thing that makes her kind of like jump back and snap at her, and she hits her and says, I admit we're not totally different, and suddenly you think you can say whatever you want, regretting letting them have my powers, princess. And Wonder Woman says, no, after this long, Moon, I respect you, but I do not fear you. And she has this reaction of like respect. I just love the way that face is drawn. You flip the page, and it's this complete shocked reaction of, damn it, I'm sorry, Diana. Sorry it took me so damn long, but I'm listening. And Wonder Woman literally opens her arms to and says, "It took only as long as it needed to." And that is just such an utterly touching moment, and it gives you exactly the kind of person that Wonder Woman is and why she's an inspiration and why Wonder Woman doesn't have an extensive rogues gallery, because this is how she treats her enemies. And so it's just really, really sweet, really, really solid moment. If you're ever like, been wondering what Wonder Woman's like as a character, you've never really read her extensively and stuff before, this is a great place to start. This is a great issue to jump on.
Interesting. So, yeah. I might have to pick that up at the shop next week.
Yeah, if you get the chance, if they still got it on the stands, I definitely recommend it. There were 2 covers for this, the A and the B cover, and both of them were really, really good and at the same price. The other one was Wonder Woman with the blindfold on and the Scales of Justice. I'm like,
oh, damn, that's a great idea.
Yeah, both of them were really good, but I was like, you know what? I do really like the color choice on this cover, so I ended up sticking with this one, but they're both really solid covers.
Yeah, Orlando's one of those writers who's like real hit and miss. Like parts of his Supergirl are just awful, and then he has like a few one and dones that are phenomenal. Like I know you read issue 19, but if he's gonna be doing a decent little run on Wonder Woman, I might have to look into that.
Yeah, I think he's only here till like issue 58, and I'm really hoping that all he does is just standalones or maybe 1 to 2 issue stories, because 1, we just need more of that in comics anyway, and 2, he's apparently very good at it.
Nice.
Yep.
All right,
sir.
Well, I guess I'll just flash up my honorable mention real quick because we've already talked about it extensively. It's Batman 51. Great issue. Nice. I loved it.
Cool.
It wasn't good enough to be my pick for that week, but it is really good.
That's cool. That's totally understandable. I'm going to go ahead and say my honorable mention is Superman #1, because Bendis is here, baby. Yes. Yeah, I really did like this issue. There's just a lot of cool stuff. I can't remember what week it came out, but I knew there was just something better that week. It's just so cool. We get all the craziness. We get the beginning of the Fortress of Solitude at the Bermuda Triangle. That's really cool. I'm excited for all that stuff. I love the sense of Clark Kent in the Daily Planet has to like monitor his own ego when he writes about Superman. Yeah. That was really fun. And yeah, there's just a lot of cool stuff in here. I'm really curious about what the Martian Manhunter scene means, but I love the way the Martian Manhunter scene works. Yeah. Like that could just be a short Superman film. Just like, hold on 1 second. Hold that thought. And it just goes and does something incredible, and it's just super cool.
I really loved those scenes in the apartment where he's just thinking about Lois and John, and you're getting those little flashbacks. That was almost like heartbreaking stuff there.
Yeah, I agree. Then we get also a really great cliffhanger of Rogol Zaar as someone has somehow put the Earth inside the Phantom Zone. So that's cool as shit. This dude is a bit of a lasting powerhouse of a villain. So yeah, solid issue, but there's just something a little bit better that week.
By the way, can I just say that I will really appreciate Bendis for setting up both books in Man of Steel, but making Action and Superman 2 completely different stories that are clearly not happening at the same time as each other.
Yeah, that's
so you don't really have to read both books. I mean, I'm gonna, but we don't have to.
Yeah, it's like you're praising him for the thing that doesn't even matter to you. Yeah. That was a really good choice too. All right, what do you got for best cover?
My best cover is Saga Chapter 54. Probably one of the most evocative and simultaneously completely indicative of what's on the inside covers I have ever seen. It's just completely red all the way through, and they use so much red ink that you see those little lines there. The book looks like it's actually blood soaked, which is crazy. And there's just the red is so strong you can't even see the logo. It is there, but you can't see the logo unless you get like really close to it and look like. You can maybe barely make
yep,
it out.
there it goes. It came through.
And this issue was just heartrending. Like almost made it to book of the month for me, kind of stuff here. But I won't really get into it because it's major spoilers if you haven't read the series.
Nice. Okay. Well, that was a really touching and interesting analysis of a really intelligently put together cover. Cosmic Ghost Rider looks really fucking cool.
It does. It does. I'm not going to keep up with that book, but I bought that issue just for the cover.
It's so stupid, but it's so cool.
Oh my god.
This is sorry about that, folks.
Ian did it. Ian did it.
It was my fault. Like, okay, let's discuss Google Hangouts because I'm editing this all together, but there'll still be a jump, so everyone will be like, "What the fuck?" So, like, I had my keyboard on my footrest under my desk here, and I just like kind of leaned my footrest forward, fidgeting with it, and my toe hit the space bar. Why does the space bar end the broadcast?
That is weird.
Right?
Shouldn't you have to click on something to do that?
I think so.
Or shouldn't it at least pop up a message like, "Are you sure you want to end this broadcast? Tap space again to end."
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, so yeah, Cosmic Ghost Rider #1. This book is stupid, but in a fun way. I think it's well aware of how ridiculous it is. And Frank Castle as the Cosmic Ghost Rider is fucking ludicrous and stupid, and I love it. This is the exact level of like it looks straight out of the 90s, and I'm pretty sure this book time traveled from 1992.
Okay, is it just me, or do you really want to know what Vince from Geekvolution thinks of this?
Ah, God, I'd kill to hear Vince's thoughts on the Cosmic Ghost Rider series. Oh man, I miss Vince.
Vince, come back! We miss you.
I know. So yeah, just a really stupid, silly cover, and it totally did exactly what it wanted to, and immediately sold the book. I'm not sure how I feel about the design choice to have the head encased in like this glass dome. Like, I get that
somebody just changed the color on Mr. Freeze's head to red.
Yeah, I get that. Like the intention is, well, he's in space, so he can't have fire. I'm like, yeah, sure, but are we really going to get to the science of fucking Cosmic Ghost Rider? Like, really? We're going to get into that?
In the Marvel universe where there are rocks that control reality?
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. It's stupid, silly fun, and it's too cool to look at. All right. What's
time to get our rage on?
Yeah. What's your worst book of the month, sir?
My worst book of the month, and I'm honestly really sad to say this, is Lucy Dreaming #5. Ian, have I even talked about this book before on the show? Okay.
I don't think so.
So this is an independent mini from Boom, just 5 issues. And it started off as like this really cute little book with a nice premise of like it's a little girl, and when she dreams, she goes into other realities where stories that she's read are real. So like the first issue is her in this world that's kind of a Star Wars parody. Second issue, she's in kind of a Hunger Games parody. Third issue, she's in kind of a Buffy the Vampire Slayer parody. And it seems like it kind of wants to do this interesting discussion of the nature of stories and how they affect our imagination. But the last 2 issues kind of just devolved into a book that has all the same problems as Secret Empire, where it's, okay, I get what you're trying to do here, and I don't necessarily disagree with some of these ideas, but you are going about preaching them in the most dickish, backhanded way possible, and it makes it feel like I'm reading propaganda. I absolutely could not stand this. I was really hoping this is going to be just like a cute little fun book I could recommend to people with kids, and it just gets way too preachy at the end for that, about not even wanting more female representation in stories, but like saying that any men leading a story is inherently a bad thing. And I'm like, what? What? So, yeah, I just cannot get behind this book anymore. It went from something really cute to something that had potentially something interesting to say to just, like I often say about Nick Spencer's Captain America, I felt like I was reading somebody who was really angry on Twitter.
Okay. Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, my book for the worst book is actually it's basically a tie. It came down to a coin flip. And so I ended up.
So are you gonna flip the coin live on the show right now?
No, I already flipped the coin, and so the ultimate pick is Exiles. But I also want to talk about Wonder Woman number 50 is one of the worst comics I've ever read because it's like it buries the lead. We see the end of the story when the last issue ended with a cliffhanger, and then we get the drama after the fact, and also James Robinson wasted a fantastic artist because some of this imagery is just beautiful and gorgeous, and I hate this book. But it's as bad as it is. Exiles number 5 is just terrible. I don't know what the hell they were thinking here, and it's just really, really bad. Like, that's just all it comes down to for me. It's awful. So, like, the moment that gets me is just how fucking useless and stupid some of these multiverse hijinks are. All right? So at one point, the team comes across Sabretooth. And Blink, who's a mutant, really likes Sabretooth, and she has kind of a thing with him, like a uncle-niece kind of dynamic.
Okay.
But old apocalyptic Kamala Khan hates Sabretooth because in her universe, Sabretooth killed all of her friends and stuff.
Is this the Sabretooth from that universe?
No.
Then she has no reason to hate this Sabretooth!
It's really dumb. Like, it's not even like they establish that quickly. It's like a whole scene where they keep going through this, and like she's got like it's a whole scene where they go through it, and then the next page Kamala Khan, it doesn't even matter because the next page Kamala Khan dies anyway. It's like, what the fuck was the point?
Seems like this book did Kamala dirty.
It's dumb. It's a really dumb book. And it's so dumb. And like, I mean, I like shit like this where we got all the different universal versions of a character with all these other wacky multiverse interpretations of characters, like Lil Magneto and Pirate Misty Knight can come together to fight Time Galactus, who's really Kang the Conqueror. That shit should be entertaining as hell, but it's just bad. It's bad. It's a bad book. Then there's just like really like, okay, normally I wouldn't fold a comic like this, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Who cares? It's a bad comic.
Right. So like, here's this really somber scene in the rain where they're reflecting on the death of Kamala Khan, and everyone's really sad about it. It's like a funeral scene. It's not even a page flip, and it's sunny and on the beach and smiles and happiness.
What the hell?
It's not even a flip of
also, quick commentary on that rain page. Wolvie literally looks like he just got dropped in Photoshop. It doesn't look like the rain's hitting him.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know. The art is not even the beginning of the problems with this book. But just like tonally, that is so confused. It's like, okay, all sad and gloomy. Happy, yay, we're in Miami.
That reminds me of an old episode of Doctor Who. I believe it's Time Flight, where it's the episode right after, for the first time ever, a companion died. And it starts off and it's like really somber, and they're like, oh man, we couldn't save Adric. I can't believe it. He's gone. He fucking blew up. Hey, let's go on vacation. I know how we can get to the Concorde. You want to go fly on the Concorde?
Oh, wow. Yeah, so this book was just a mess, and it could have been so much fun, you know, especially when the marketing for it was all like Peggy Carter, Captain America. I'm like, yes, I am there for that. And it was like an issue, and she died.
Like, Peggy Carter Captain America sounds like a what if ongoing you would do, not just like, hey, we're putting this character in a team book.
Yeah, it was like Peggy Carter, Captain America, and then like Valkyrie from Ragnarok, basically. Not the same version, but like a version based on that. And it was such a fun idea, and it just sucked. Just really sucked, and that disappointed the hell out of me.
Please tell me you're done reading it.
Oh, easily.
Okay.
I was gonna give it. What I'll normally do is I'll try to give it an arc for a book. Like if you interest me in the premise, but I don't think you're doing it well, I'll usually give you an arc. Like and legit, I can't lie. This tease for the next issue does really interest me, but you've already proven that you just can't write, and so that's disappointing as hell. That it's not even like it's a mistitled book. It should just be called The Expositioners.
This seems like a book you should just flip through every couple months at the comic shop just to see a few cool panels.
Yeah, pretty much. Alrighty.
Well, let's get back on the good track, shall we?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so I kind of gushed about it a lot, so you guys probably knew this, but my best is She Could Fly #1. If you don't read indie stuff and you're at all interested in stuff that deals with mental illness, this is only a 4-issue mini. I highly recommend picking it up. If not, as it's coming out in trade, I think everybody should at least check this out.
All right, cool. My best of the month was Stealth #1. Really, really solid indie book. Something that I feel needs to be talked about, needs to be gone into. And it's just, we don't see superheroes deal with the fact that like police can be bad people too nearly enough. So really appreciated it for that.
The only other time I really know of that happening is like that one issue of Spawn where a bunch of police raped a woman while she was in an ambulance.
Well, that's fucked
I vaguely remember that issue from Spawn.
I'm sure
Spawn
that
year.
in Spawn that was handled with a bunch of tact and sensitivity and intelligence.
Oh,
that really sounds like the level of quality writing in Spawn to me.
It was like watching a schlock horror movie.
Yeah. So this just, I don't know, it's a really, really cool premise, and I really liked it. And I really loved the dedication again. I thought that was really nice to do. All right. Well, I guess we are on to comic news then, sir.
Yeah. Let me figure out if I can. How do I share my screen again?
Like if you go on the little sidebar, there you go.
All right, so I will go over.
I'm gonna put you in charge. You are the only source of video, sir.
All right.
Let's just look at you as you look at your screen, trying to figure all this out. It's funny.
Okay, so we're starting off on a bit of a somber note because Steve Ditko passed away right at the beginning of this month. For those of you who are maybe a little ill-informed, Steve Ditko is, of course, one of the co-creators of Spider-Man. He created Doctor Strange, Hawk and Dove, The Question, all kinds of huge name characters that have been around for years and years. Also, one of the most famous cases of a creator getting screwed over in the comics industry.
Mm-hmm.
Is really sad to hear about him dying. You know, that generation of early comic creators is really starting to hit the dust in the next couple of years, and that's kind of a shitty thing to think about. You know, a friend of mine, Boingo Writer, and I, we actually got a few people together, and like the night this news broke, we did sort of a fan wake for Steve on Discord, and we watched a documentary about him, and we watched the Doctor Strange movie, and we tried to watch Spider-Man Homecoming, but I literally couldn't find it streaming anywhere that I didn't have to pay $20 for.
Oof, so, that's rough.
Yeah, I just wanted to put this in here just to make sure we did a little bit of acknowledgement and sort of paid our respects to Mr. Ditko, because he is one of the most influential people in comics history.
Yeah, it's one of those titans of the industry kind of thing, and so it was sad to hear about his passing, and it was really sad that like he was alive for so long during the success of like the MCU, and he was just so bitter about everything, understandably so, that he didn't get the chance to kind of like cameo and be a part of that, because I really
I
like everyone
really
loves the
wish he
Stan.
could have had a cameo in Homecoming.
Yeah, everyone loves the Stan Lee cameos and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I can look past some of Stan's crap if we could just get the other guys that are still around in these, but I don't know.
I mean, Chris Claremont was in an X-Men movie,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I'm just like the Stan Lee cameo in Spider-Man: Homecoming was fine, but think how much better it would have been if the guy in the next window over was Steve Ditko. And he was like, "How about you stop giving the kid a hard time?"
I don't think he would have been on screen with Stan Lee. I think that's where he would have drawn the line, but that's a good point.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Well, now that we're all sad,
let's move on to something amazing, because G. Willow Wilson is taking over the Wonder Woman ongoing at issue 59.
and like I am legit excited for that, but at the same time, I don't read Miss Marvel, so I don't really know anything about her writing style, but I'm just excited that we're getting, a pretty, I don't know, like what would you call, G. Willow Wilson isn't like a huge name in the industry, but she's one of the big up and coming kind of thing. Like you can tell she's gonna be big one day.
Like she's a person who's been around for quite a while, but because of Miss Marvel, she's kind of been catapulted into being a somewhat of a name writer now. So it's a big deal, because she's not leaving Miss Marvel to do this. She signed a contract so she can do both this and Miss Marvel, and somehow DC and Marvel reached a deal on it, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. I might have to take a phone call because I keep getting called and I can't, ignoring it doesn't seem to be working for me. So I apologize if I have to step out for a sec.
Okay.
But yeah, like Miss Marvel's really cool. That like she's created this character that got really popular and deals with all these social things. So I know that G. Willow Wilson has the right kind of mindset to go write Wonder Woman, because one of the things I have a lot of problems with writers on Wonder Woman is they're afraid of the politics of the character. And so that it
why would you write a character if you're afraid of tackling the politics that come with that character?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's right. Paychecks exist. Sorry.
Yeah. So like just so often we get really dumb stories with Wonder Woman. Okay, I'm taking this fucking call.
Okay. Time for Ian Takes a Phone Call, the best segment of Monthly Comic Book Roundup. But yeah, I mean, this looks pretty neat. This article also has like a neat DC YouTube show where there's an interview with Dan DiDio about it. And if we go over here, oh nope, this is another story. So I will wait for Ian to be back before I talk about this. Until Ian gets back, how about what can I do to keep you guys busy till Ian gets back? Father Abraham, he was a guy, probably also a father. Father Abraham, he was in the Bible, and he did some stuff that I don't remember. I think
I'm back.
Sorry now. Hey.
Sorry about that. Oh.
So while you were gone, I literally just started singing the lyrics to Father Abraham, but then I remembered I don't know half the lyrics to Father Abraham, so I made up my own. You could have
gone on to talk about the next story.
I could have, but like, where's the fun in that?
Fair point.
So did you have anything more to say about the Wonder Woman story?
No, I'm excited to see what Willow Wilson does. I'm not going to say it's going to be like the greatest thing ever. I'm excited for that. I'm really pleased that DC's throwing so much talent at these, big A-list characters, which I mean, obviously they just should have always been doing that, but regardless, we got
Hey
Bendis on
guys,
Superman.
maybe we should focus on making our movies good.
Yeah. We got like Bendis on Superman, King on Batman, Morrison's coming over to Green Lantern, taking a big and upcoming name like Wilson, putting her on Wonder Woman seems like a good move. Really excited for all that. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really interested in it. I'm such a big Marvel fan. I'm gonna at least check out the first issue. So who knows? Maybe we'll be talking about it together on whatever month it comes out.
Yeah, it's with the double shipping, it's not that far away.
Mm-hmm. So a little more G. Willow Wilson news for us. She is doing a creator-owned book called Invisible Kingdom, which is supposedly a sort of sci-fi religious commentary book, which the premise for it sounds really interesting. I'll just highlight it here and read it off real quick. Set in a small solar system in a far-flung galaxy, Invisible Kingdom tells the tale of two women. One, a young religious acolyte, and the other, a hard-bitten freighter pilot, who separately uncover an unholy conspiracy between the leader of the Ricadiation, I don't know how to pronounce that word, the system's dominant religion, and Lux, the all-consuming megacorporation that controls society. On the run from dangerous reprisals on both sides, this unlikely pair of rebels risks plunging the world into total anarchy if they reveal the truth. But when your beliefs betray you, what choice is left? So yeah, this looks like just a more extreme stuff of the kind of a more extreme version of the kind of stuff Wilson usually deals with in Miss Marvel. So I'm kind of interested to check it out. It's just a little mini from oh hey, the people who have a logo that looks way too much like Dark Horse. So
it's interesting that they seem to. I wonder if they do exclusively like small runs.
I do not know. I had not heard of this company before I saw She Could Fly on the stands. I hadn't even heard of She Could Fly before that week. I just saw it on the stands, and I'm like, that's a really evocative title. I guess I'll pick it up. And it turned out to be the best comic of the month.
Nice. Cool.
So yeah, I'm kind of interested in this. I'll see if my store gets in an issue, and if they do, I'll probably give it a look.
All right. Cool.
And on to more mainstream news. Spider-Gwen is getting a name change. She is now going to be known as Ghost Spider, and her series is relaunching for this whole Spider-Geddon thing. Not really a whole lot to talk about with this. I just thought it was interesting that they're giving her a name change because she's known as Spider-Woman in universe, but her title's always been called Spider-Gwen just because that's what people know her as. And now apparently the book is going to be called Spider-Gwen, and then subtitle Ghost Spider, which, that's not confusing and stupid at all.
Yeah, like I don't know much about, like, does she have any unique powers? Anything?
No, she's basically Gwen Stacy in a universe where Gwen Stacy got bit by the spider instead of Peter Parker, and everything's a little darker and grittier, and
that's what
Matt Murdock is an enforcer for the Kingpin.
Yeah, and so like Ghost Spider just sounds like it should be like a Spider-Man kind of character who also can like phase through objects or something. So
yeah, I think it's just because her costume is extremely white.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, like, is it just me, or does Ghost Spider not really roll off the tongue that well? I think if it was Spider Ghost, it'd be a little better.
Yeah, but then it just sounds like the revenge of all those spiders you've killed over the years coming back at you.
Yeah, coming soon from Canon Pictures, Ghost Spider, or Spider Ghost. We don't know what the title is.
Ghost Shark.
Yes.
Oh man. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Maybe they'll do something.
I haven't
to
really read
it.
this character that much, just because the first few issues of the ongoing didn't really seem like my kind of thing. But I just thought I'd bring this up just because it's a character a lot of people are into right now, and I've always liked the costume design. So
fair enough.
And that's just another story about that. Christopher Priest's Spider Force, which is a Spider-Geddon on tie-in. Words, say them. It's going to introduce 2 new Spider-Man characters. There's a Spider-Man from space, and there's a Spider-Man. Yeah, and there's a Spider-Man who looks like Nightwing.
You know, I wasn't gonna
say
it. Yeah, I don't know. Space Spider-Man sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
Spacer Man.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like he has like space blasters that shoot webs. That could be cool.
I mean, you know, I'm trying to think of how useful Spider-Man's power set would be in space, and I cannot determine if it's like a hindrance or a help.
I think it would depend on what area of space you're in. Like, if you're in an asteroid belt, it could be pretty useful.
Maybe.
As long as you have a way to retract the webs.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I mean, Spider-Man's always had the power to like cut the webs or something, so.
Yeah.
I don't know. Interesting idea. Okay.
And our last bit of Spider-Man related news, Doc Ock is getting a new Superior title. The Superior Octopus is going to be another Spider-Geddon ongoing, and apparently Doc Ock is just a Spider-Man-ish superhero now, or like anti-hero. I'm not sure.
I don't like that design. It's too much Spider-Man.
It's really ugly. I don't like the costume at all.
I don't mind the color palette.
I'm interested in it because I'm in the weird minority that read Superior Spider-Man and thought it was kind of a neat concept.
I don't like that design.
But the thing is, if it's Doc Ock in his own body doing the Superior Spider-Man thing, I think that kind of ruins the concept. Because the whole concept is Doc Ock is going, Spider-Man is an asshole and he doesn't know how to live his life right. Let me live his life right for him.
I don't know. Just like it looks like the Iron Spider with a green palette swap.
Yeah.
I don't like this. Like I'm not going to read it anyway, but I still don't like it.
I don't know. I might look into it, but I don't know. It's one of those things where I brought it up just because like I am vaguely interested in the thing this is based off of, but who knows if this will be good. I don't even know who's writing this. Who the hell is writing this? Elliot Tolliver.
I don't know who that is.
I've never heard of that.
Wait, no, taking the pseudonym Elliot.
Oh, that's not. Wait, is the writer not on this?
More details will be given at Marvel's Comic-Con.
I haven't heard anything more about this.
Yeah.
So, thanks, Newsarama. We kind of cared. Anyways, there's going to be a new Lone Ranger ongoing from Mark Russell. I'm kind of excited about this because Mark Russell is one of those writers who I only read him occasionally, but whenever I do read him, like his stuff really hits me. It's really good. And I'm not super familiar with the Lone Ranger, so this might be a good jumping on point for me, I think, with that character.
Yeah, I want a Zorro book again.
We all want a Zorro book again.
There's a Lone Ranger Zorro crossover that I haven't read because I know that Zorro dies in like the first 5 pages, and I'm like, well, that was stupid.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. Dynamite, just give me a Zorro book again, damn it. Django Zorro was so good. Give me a Zorro.
But hey, Mike Allred cover.
Ooh, Mike Allred I do love. And that does look so like Mike Allred too. Man, that's cool.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm probably gonna give this a look. Can't guarantee I'm gonna keep up with it though, just because it really depends on how it hits me.
Fair enough.
But thought I'd bring it up because I was interested in it. Another thing kind of like that, there's the is it IDW or Boom that has the license?
I feel like
no, it's Dynamite.
Okay.
Dynamite is finally doing a proper James Bond ongoing, and it's going to be written by Greg Pak.
That's weird because there was an ongoing written by Warren Ellis. When did that happen?
It wasn't an ongoing. It was a miniseries, and then there was another miniseries by Warren Ellis, and then they've kept doing like miniseries with different writers, and it's supposed to be like each miniseries is what a movie would be. So now they're finally doing an ongoing.
Okay.
And I think Greg Pak is a really interesting choice for Bond, just because he's normally like kind of like a big, fun, crazy, out there concept kind of guy. So to see him do something as sort of gritty and down to earth as the Dynamite Bond books have been, I think that'll be a really interesting test of his abilities.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not a Bond guy, so I'll probably not read that, but I'm happy for the Bond fans.
I'm a Bond guy when a movie is really good. Like, there's a lot of James Bond I just do not give a crap about, but like, you put Casino Royale in front of me, I'm gonna have a good time. That's my jam.
Fair enough.
So moving on, Black Panther's Shuri is spinning off into her own ongoing title. Now, this is, of course, the 616 Shuri as opposed to the movie Shuri. They're two very different characters, but of course, people are probably going to be very excited about this because this is from Nindi Okorafor? I'm sorry.
You're a braver man than I.
I don't know. I don't do names well, but apparently this is supposed to be like Shuri going off on her own and doing like some superhero stuff. And hey, I'm just gonna say this. I called it.
Well, like,
I said it. When Black Panther came out and Shuri became a huge meme character, I said on Twitter, I give Marvel a year before they give Shuri her own book and then put her on the Champions.
Okay.
And it's starting.
All right. Well, here's the thing with 616 Shuri. She's already been the Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
There's like that was part of the whole run that when Hudlin passed the torch on to whoever took over before Coates came on. Shuri was the Black Panther during that run. The volume Black Panther, Deadliest of the Species, Black Panther Power, and that kind of led all into Do More. So like that, you know, she's already been Black Panther, so she kind of deserves her own book, honestly. Which I don't know, it's cool. I'll probably read the first issue. I'm trying to remember something real quick. I'm gonna go grab something real quick, talk and entertain the people.
Okay, guys, let's get back to our jam session. Father Abraham, he was a guy, and he probably did some stuff. I don't know much about that character because I'm not really in the Bible fandom.
The Bible fandom?
That's what Christianity is called, right?
Damn it, where the hell's the book? I need to organize my trades better. There's a Black Panther series, and I know my audio is really weak right now.
No, I can hear you fine.
Okay, there's a Black Panther series that was like a digital first, and I'm pretty sure it was done by that writer. And I'm just trying to remember the name of it and check to make sure I'm not, mistaken. Batman, damn it. I'm never going to find this in time. This is the most professional level of reviewing you can possibly do.
We are top men doing this program for you, ladies and gentlemen. Top men.
Nindi Okafor? Is that it? Is that her?
Yeah.
Let me see the name again so I make sure I'm getting it right. Yep. So there's a digital first series called Black Panther Long Live the King, and I did a Trade Talk episode on that. And so that was that writer doing Black Panther, and so I guess it was successful enough to have him do a Shuri book.
Okay. Was that any good?
It was all right. It was fun. Nice all ages kind of thing. It was fun enough. Nothing like super deep or anything, but it was certainly enjoyable.
Okay. So you think you're gonna pick this book up, Ian?
I'll give it one arc.
Yeah. I don't know a whole lot about comic book Black Panther. Like I've said before, I thought the Black Panther movie was good, but I'm not in love with it like everyone else. So
that's because you're a racist.
Probably. But I don't know. I'll pick this up if I hear like you say it's good or something like that. But I don't have like plans of like I've got to make a beeline for this book that week at the store.
Fair enough.
So moving on to probably the most exciting news for you of the month, it's finally been confirmed. Grant Morrison is taking over Green Lantern.
Not only is Grant Morrison taking it over, it's taken over with Liam fucking Sharp. And just the few images that have been released are jaw-dropping right away.
Oh my god, look at this.
I know. Like, Liam Sharp released on his Twitter all the like close-ups of just the pencils, and you see like how damn detailed the background is.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's not just a bunch of dots. Like, there's proper line work and everything for all the star systems and stuff behind him.
And apparently Morrison has said he plans for this to be like a throwback to the Silver Age, where it's a lot of like kooky space adventure done in ones. And like, yeah, I'm there for that.
Yeah, they did a breakdown of his pitch. They like did a redacted version of his pitch in DC Nation #3, and like I'm so excited that he's going to revisit planets that we haven't seen since the Silver Age. He's going to revisit species that we haven't seen since the Silver Age. It's going to be a police procedural kind of book. And like, I love John's Green Lantern, and I enjoyed stuff like Godhead, but yeah, you can't have the apocalypse every week, guys. So he's like, yeah, like that's all good, and it's been fun and enjoyable, but it's lost its scale. It's lost a sense of epicness because now it's just an apocalypse every week. So instead, I'm going to do something where it's just, okay, it's the day-to-day. It's the grind.
And that seems to be like a theme with DC post-Rebirth, is like, we did that with the Benjamin Percy run on Green Arrow, where it was getting back to basics with that character of him just kind of doing small street-level social justice warrior, but actual social justice warrior kind of stuff. The Tom King Batman, I don't think there's been like a single big, if Batman doesn't do this, Gotham will be completely destroyed arc in that. Monster Men doesn't count. Monster Men does not count, all right?
No, I was going to go more for the I Am Gotham thing, because Gotham was kind of going nuts. But yeah, you're generally, it's not like that the story is not the stakes in any of Tom King's stuff.
It's not, we don't have the DC universe we used to joke about from a couple years ago of like, well, if I'm going to live in the DC universe, give me a Green Lantern ring, because I want to be able to do something if my city gets blown up every week.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm really, really excited for Morrison to be taking over the book. I've been off Green Lantern current for quite a while now, and I'm excited to be reading that again. So yeah, I'll be all over that. My only hope is that he's able to balance all the human Green Lanterns and have it not be just Hal. I'd like to,
because he says he wants to do a lot of Dunham ones. What if every issue or every arc he switches protagonists?
That would be amazing. I don't know if that's what's going to happen. I don't know if he just wants to make it a Hal book so he can focus on one character. I really don't know what he's going to do as far as character work on stuff, but I'm just excited to, I talked about this. Morrison's done, singular works on a bunch of the DC royalty. He's done All-Star Superman. He had his Batman run. He did Wonder Woman Earth 1. He did a run with Mark Millar on The Flash. Now he's going to be doing Green Lantern. All that's left is like Aquaman and Martian Manhunter, and and you couple that with his Justice League run, and he'll have written not only the Justice League in one of the most iconic ways, but all of the characters in super iconic ways.
Yeah.
So that'd be really, really cool.
So yeah, I'm pretty excited for this. I'm definitely going to give the first issue a look.
Nice.
So moving on, we have the long-anticipated Shazam series from Jeff Johns. This winter. They're doing it because there's a movie. There's going to be a new Shazam comic because there's a Shazam movie. It ain't that hunky-dory. I don't care about Shazam.
Fair enough. I don't know. I'm low-key excited for the Shazam movie. just the direction like clearly looks like they're actually having fun, but not in a way that's trying to just ape on Marvel.
Mhm.
And so I really appreciate it for that. It just looks like it's going to be super enjoyable. And
It
so,
looks
yeah,
fun, but I'm also like terrified it's just going to be kick ass with superpowers.
maybe. I don't know. So I don't know. The movie looks kind of fun, and so to see John's coming back to a monthly book, that's not a big event thing. It's just the character. That looks really cool too, and it looks like obviously from this cover they're going to be embracing the Shazam family stuff too. So that's fun.
Hmm.
Or the Captain Marvel family stuff, whatever you want to call
We can't call it Captain Marvel. We'll get sued.
it.
All right. So another thing I'm gonna be not super thrilled about. Hey, free Jokers. It's happening. They're actually doing it. They're
Yeah, and it's
actually doing free Jokers, and it's a DC Black Label book.
That's the thing that gets me is that it's Black Label when Black Label is meant to kind of stand on its own. So I can't help but feel like it's a Black Label book because it's going to be super fucking twisted. And that part legit excites me. I could go for a super
But it's so weird that it's a Black Label book because this has been set up in like 2 different events.
Mm-hmm.
So this was gonna be a main continuity thing.
I mean, it still is. It's just in the Black Label title so they can make it brutal as fuck. And I'm like, okay, I'm there for it.
This is one of those things where, and we've got a couple things like that this week where I'm just like, okay, that's happening, but I'm probably not going to read it unless like you or Steve says it's good.
I don't know. I'll read the first issue if nothing else. Johns isn't like my favorite writer with Batman characters or anything, but I don't know. Joker in 3 different incarnations sounds kind of wacky fun. I love the way that
if it's like a twisted version of a Doctor Who crossover, that could be neat, but yeah. I really doubt Johns will go there.
Yeah, I don't know what he's planning with the whole 3 Jokers thing. I don't know. It looks confusing as hell. I'm just like, all right, fuck it. Super gritty Joker story. I'll take it.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, speaking of Batman and the Joker are going to team up in a Mark Silvestri mini, where the Joker is apparently going to have some kind of problem that he can't figure out how to solve. So he kidnaps Gordon and says, hey, if you don't want Gordon to die, you got to help me solve this problem, Batman. And so it's like a uneasy alliance type thing. Like, who was asking for this, really?
Me. I like Joker Batman team up stories.
Really? Yeah. I did not know that about you. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I like stuff like that. Like there's an episode of Brave and the Bold that does it. I don't like it when it feels cheap or like cliche tacked on. So I like the idea of like Joker's got to deal with something. I really like the premise. Joker's got to deal with something. Who else would he go to besides Batman? And so he's just got to contrive a way to get Batman to help him. I like that quite a bit, actually.
And apparently it's going to be like a Dark Knight type scheming Joker where it's like, oh, he kidnapped Gordon and has him hostage, but not even the Joker knows where Gordon is.
No, that sounds, that's pretty cool. I'm pretty hyped for that, actually. That's probably like, cover. What, a year out or something.
When is it supposed to be? Do they say?
Yeah, it was announced at Comic-Con. They're never closer than like 6 months.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think we have a release date.
Lots of Joker-related stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, cool. I mean, if Tom King's gonna kill him off and then not use him,
he didn't kill him. He did not kill him.
Sure, keep telling yourself that, Ian. Anyways, hey, speaking of Tom King...
What do you mean he didn't... What do you mean I have to tell myself that? He's in issue 50, jackass.
Where is he in issue 50? I don't remember that.
The last panel with all the people in the room.
I'm going to have to go back and check that, because I don't remember seeing him there.
Okay, speaking of Tom King, announces the return of Batman's Hush-era costume. Damn it! No! Give me the fucking oval. I want the oval back.
I just got used to the Tom King suit.
Well, it's not even Tom King. That's Capullo. That was introduced at the very end of Snyder's run.
Oh, okay.
So that was Capullo's design, and Steve, Steve's getting a lot of love in this episode. Steve kind of had the ultimate take. He was like, yeah, the Capullo design's cool, but not everyone can draw it like Greg Capullo, so Greg Capullo's the only one who can draw it well. That's not completely true, but I definitely think there's something to that.
I think all the artists King has had on his run have done a great job with it.
Yeah, I think it's just a fine design. I don't know. I just want the fucking oval back.
And like, I haven't read much of Snyder's run except for Court of Owls. So I didn't know it came from there. But to be honest, to me, I almost bought a figure of that suit in my comic shop the other day just because I look at that suit now, and to me, that's Tom King's Batman.
Fair.
So I'm a little sad to see that suit go, but hey, we've got the underpants back. That's a thing people wanted for a while, right?
Yeah, trunks.
Even though we just got used to not having them.
Trunks. We need the trunks.
I mean, at least King is saying there's
without trunks.
At least there's a good reason for this. Like you can see here, King is quoted as saying he's switching back to this costume because he no longer wants to wear the costume he wore when he was with Catwoman. Which I guess kind of makes sense in story.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a thing that's gonna happen. Hey, here's another thing that's gonna happen. Tomasi and Manig, I think that's how you say his name, are taking over Detective Comics, and they're planning to be in charge of the book until issue 1000, which is next year.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, Tomasi did some interesting stuff with Damian and Super Sons, so I'd be interested. I want to see what his Batman is like, so I'll at least give the first issue of his run a shot.
Fair enough. Yeah. I don't know. I hadn't read Detective because I just didn't really care for the premise of like the team book kind of thing.
No, the first Detective run sucked.
Yeah, and I hadn't been picking up I know there was kind of an interim writer on that at the moment, but I don't know.
But yeah, they're starting in issue 944, so I think that's pretty soon.
Yeah, cool.
We'll give it a look when it happens, I guess.
Yeah, I could always use another Batman book. I don't have enough of those.
Yeah, there's never enough of those. That wasn't a problem with 52 at all. Okay, so more Batman news. There's going to be 2 special Batman one-shots in October. We are going to have Batman Secret Files, which is going to be a collection of stories by Tom King, Gerard Belair, Jordy Bell. I don't do names. Cheryl Lynn Eaton and Tom Taylor. I'm definitely interested in this because it's more Tom King Batman.
Let me see that cover because it looks like they're going. Oh my god, it's an EC style cover.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Okay. Nice.
And then we have. Oh, I think. Where's the cover for Secret Files?
Oh, they don't have a cover for.
That's not the Secret Files cover. This is for the other one shot, which is Cursed Comics Cavalcade, which is going to be written by James Tinian, Becky Coulin, Brian Hill, Tim Seeley, Riley Rusimo, and Gary Durman, and some others.
Okay. I wonder if they're going to be doing this instead of doing the DC holiday specials, because I really liked the 2 that we got last year.
Oh, yeah.
I hope they keep doing those. Yeah, I hope they do those and do this, one-shot Batman kind of stuff for horror. That could really work.
We already have the solicitations for October, and there's no DC holiday special for October this year. So I'm guessing Cursed Comics Cavalcade is their Halloween special, and it's just Batman's on the cover because Batman.
I mean, if it's not just Batman stories, I'll be okay with that then.
Yeah. But I don't know if I'll pick this up. It's kind of like if I hear there's some actual good stuff in here, but I'm definitely getting Secret Files because Tom King.
Fair enough.
All right. So in our final bit of Batman news for the month,
oh god,
Jason
I know what
Todd
it is.
is getting a new costume,
and it looks awful.
It looks like discount store Casey Jones.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like something out of Ninja Turtles. I'll admit I like that he's got the crowbar. That is a pretty Jason Todd kind of move. But no, just no.
Yeah, and apparently he's switching to this costume because he's gonna be like on his own and going undercover because he killed the Penguin and he might have accidentally revealed Batman's secret identity. This probably isn't gonna affect any other books.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, it's
to the girl that I was in a class with in college that was a Jason Todd fangirl, I'm sure you'll enjoy this. And you'll be the only one.
All right. So moving on to our last Tom King thing, we have more details about Heroes in Crisis. During an event that was held at Comic-Con, where King and a bunch of other DC staffers literally dressed up as those people in robes from the covers for Heroes in Crisis #1, and got on stage and talked about the book. They basically said this is going to be a book talking, confirming that it's going to be very much about PTSD and talking about the way we fight war in this generation. And this book isn't specifically about Sanctuary. This isn't the Sanctuary book. This is about something bad happening at Sanctuary and heroes having to deal with it. Apparently those costumes, the robe and mask deal, doesn't really have anything to do with Psycho Pirate. It's just what heroes wear while they're at Sanctuary so that people don't know it's them and like maybe get set off.
Okay, I'm skeptical. I think if those don't directly tie into Psycho Pirate, there's something Psycho Pirate going on. I'm gonna say that. That's my prediction, at least, because he's making him one of the most important characters. That being said, I'm excited for Heroes in Crisis. I know a lot of people are complaining. I will say that Tom King's run has been marketed terribly. Everything he's done for DC has been marketed really, really poorly. So
he's got a really bad rap in the YouTube analysis community, I found.
Really?
Like, I saw this scathing video about Batman 50 the other day, where it's like, it's a slap in the face to fans and way King does stuff. I'm like, really? I don't think you got the issue.
Nah, yeah, it seems like a lot of this stuff goes over people's heads. Which is unfortunate. So I don't know. I'm excited for this. I think it's going to be, or excited is the wrong word. I am anxious about this. I think it's going to be heartbreaking.
It's only a couple weeks away now, so.
Yep. So I don't know.
Get your big tub of ice cream ready.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like it's going to be Tom King doing Tom King stuff. I do understand people who are like got a little bit of trepidation given the way it's marketed. It's like, one of these characters will die. I'm like, okay. One of these characters will be accused of murder. Yeah, sure. All right. Who is it gonna be? I don't care. It's gonna be sad.
I want to read the story. Could I just read the story, please?
Yeah.
Answer the question. I'm Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, moving on finally out of Bat Country, George Takei is going to release a graphic novel memoir about his time in an American World War II Japanese internment camp.
That's really interesting.
It's going to be called They Called Us Enemy. And I am honestly really hyped for this. I think this is probably going to be one of the best comics of the year. Just because I've watched several interviews and a TED Talk where George Takei has talked about this experience and how it sort of shaped his view of the country and how he still loves America in spite of what happened to him and his family. And if this has like a good sense of panel layout and Takei has a decent understanding of the comics medium, this could be like a phenomenal read.
Yeah, and I'm sure that he's probably not the only one on it. He's probably got a good editor helping him out with that kind of stuff too. Yeah, that'll be really interesting. If anyone is interested in that kind of side of George Takei, he did a musical called Allegiance that you can scrounge online to find a bootleg of. And that was, it's not just him writing it, but like his experiences helped shape the script and stuff like that. So really interesting read or watch. And yeah, this graphic novel does sound really interesting too.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have my shop pre-order a copy for me. I actually meant to a couple of weeks ago when this news came out, and I forgot. So hopefully I'll remember now.
Nice.
So let's move on to some kind of goofy news that I don't know if Ian will care about at all. Tom Solisi is bringing the GoBots to IDW. Holy crap, am I hyped for this? So a lot of people will probably know the GoBots as those Transformers knockoffs from the 80s that never got another show. Okay, GoBots actually came first. GoBots is incredibly stupid, even compared to the 80s Transformers cartoon. But it's also incredibly fun, and it had some damn good toys. And some of the goofiest names ever. Like the good guy leader, it's called Leader 1. There's a motorcycle whose name is Psykill. And there's a race car, which is a female GoBot, and her name is Crasher. And she's psychotic. So I'm really excited to see what a serious take on GoBots will be, especially because IDW is wrapping up their Transformers line. That's ending in like a couple weeks, and presumably they're not going to reboot it right away. So this may be like the only transforming robot book that's on the shelves for a little bit. So I'm kind of interested to see what this is. It could potentially be terrible or amazing.
Okay. Sounds like a thing.
Yeah. So let's move on to news people will actually care about besides me. Marvel Zombies is returning for a new ongoing. Is this an ongoing or a mini? I think it's an ongoing. And it's called Marvel Zombie. So apparently this is going to be like a singular protagonist kind of thing. And there's supposed to be like some kind of hidden twist in the book that we don't know about. I'm not hugely into Marvel Zombies. Like I've read the original mini and it was fine. But I know there are people who just love Marvel Zombies. So that's why I included this in here.
Yeah, I have no interest in Marvel Zombies whatsoever. So, like I've always said, I'm not as interested in Marvel as DC. I have negative interest in Marvel Zombies.
Dope. And here's something I am actually kind of interested. Marvel is bringing back What If as well. There's going to be several one-shots. There is, if I can find the names, What If Magic, What If X-Men, What If Thor, and What If Ghost Rider. Oh, and also What If Spider-Man. Or is that? How many are there? God damn it. What If the Punisher? There we go. That's all of them.
Okay, I'm confused. This is going to be like all at the same... Wow, what? Go down.
What if the Punisher was Spider-Man?
Yeah, I'll read the fuck out of that.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's
I guess
exciting.
What If Ben Reilly stayed Spider-Man is what this is supposed to be?
Yeah, looks like it.
I have no idea what this Ghost Rider is.
What if Ghost Rider was in Mad Max Fury Road?
I guess. What if Thor was a frost giant? I don't know X-Men enough to know what's going on here. Yeah.
Someone Domino and Cable.
It's called What If X-Men. And then What If Magic was the Sorcerer Supreme?
Okay.
Do you know who Magic is?
Nothing.
She's Colossus's sister. She was kidnapped as a child, and she grew up in hell, and she learned a bunch of cool magic powers and stuff, and now she's an X-Men.
Okay, whatever. I don't know. I'll probably pick up most of, if not all of those, because I love What Ifs. I love the one and done format.
Oh yeah, I'm super hyped for this, just because, like, What If is one of those things that grabs the comic book format and the uniqueness of what you can do with comics and just says, we're going all the way. We're doing as many crazy tangents as possible. And So whenever What If comes back, I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, they're always fun. I have a one that got actually really popular was what if the symbiote attached itself to Deadpool?
Oh
I
yeah, I
remember,
remember that. That was a fun issue.
yeah, it was a fun one, and that actually got like really popular and actually I think kind of valuable.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
Alrighty.
anyways, let's move on to our final story of this month. Saga is going on a year-long intermission. It's a hiatus. Just call it a hiatus, guys. Um, yeah. So, like I said when I talked about this as my best cover of the month, this month's issue of Saga was just utterly heartbreaking. I okay, I won't say who, but there were two major character deaths. And like one of them was the last page. And then it cuts to a page that's just completely blank. And then the next page is like a huge, almost article length write up from Brian K. Vaughan about um, how much this last arc has taken out of him and how he needs to take a break and sort of recharge his batteries for a year, and coming back on the book and thanking Fiona Staples and Image for being understanding enough to let him do this, and all agreeing to come back in a year's time and get back on the book with him. And it's really crazy that we've gotten to a place in comic books where a independent creator like this can pull something like this, because it's one of those moments where I finished the issue and I read that entire write up from Vaughn, and I was just like, damn it, I need the next issue now, and I have to wait a year. I guess this is what people who care about TV shows feel like.
Oh my, the shade.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I don't know. I think that's good. You don't want a writer to get burnt out on a book or anything like that. So I think that's probably a good choice.
Yeah.
50 issues in, huh?
The last issue was 54, and apparently, because Vaughn usually has his creator-owned stuff go for just 100 issues. Like that's why The Last Man ended at issue 100. But he says he has like tons and tons of stuff planned for this book going forward. And he just needs to get it all straight in his head and kind of take a break, which is why he's doing this hiatus. So I'm going to be waiting with bated breath for this to come back.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I'll have you stop your screen sharing because actually we did get a live comment that was asking if we're going to talk about any of the Star Wars comic news announced at Comic-Con.
I guess I missed it.
Yeah, me too. I didn't know there was anything announced at Comic-Con for the Star Wars comics. I know like they announced they're going to bring back the Clone Wars TV show.
Yeah, that's the only Comic-Con Star Wars thing I saw too.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what that's about.
I guess I could do a quick Google.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, sir.
Star Wars Comics SDCC 2018.
Nothing.
Millennium Falcon experience coming to Disneyland. A list of the exclusives.
I don't know what was announced. Maybe they're getting a writer change or something.
Didn't somebody just take over from Jason Aaron a while ago?
Yeah, Kieran Gillen took over the book. But I mean, I think that was like more than a year ago now.
Yeah. Not really sure what that's about. If somebody wants to send me a link, I guess we could bring it up on the next show.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, well. All right. Well, I guess that'll do it for this episode of the Monthly Comic Roundup. Thanks again for doing this, Vac.
Of course.
A lot of fun. Everyone, thanks very much for watching. Until next time, bye.
Later.